Right to be Read podcast, episode number 70. Should you publish your book when you have an audience in place already, or you can do it straight away? Are you struggling trying to figure out how to sell copies of your book, especially the first 100 copies? The Author Marketing Institute is offering access to their latest free video course called Selling the First 100 Copies of Your Book. This is the course everyone should have when they started publishing. It goes through all the basics from starting a mailing list to experimenting with different prices. If you follow the instructions in this course, you should be primed and ready to sell your first 100 copies, if not many more. Sign up for free at www.authormarketinginstitute.com.
You are listening to the Right to be Read podcast, and this is your host, Ani Alexander.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Right to be Read podcast. I'm Ani Alexander, and no matter how egocentric that may sound, I'm really happy that you're listening to me now. Today, I will not be interviewing anyone. It will be a solo episode, so it will be just my voice and my thoughts. I will be thinking out loud. I will be sharing what I think, and believe me, I will do my best not to waste your time. So I did more than 60 interviews by now already, and I decided that maybe I can start sharing the common ideas that were provided by the guests and several things that were quite valuable, and share my own views on the topics. So today I would like to say that many guests gave the same advice all over again because that advice was very valuable, and many agree on the same things because those things are the ones which really work. But what I would like to talk about today is the rare cases when guests tell things that contradict each other. So today specifically, I would like to draw your attention on one of those cases. So many guests firmly believe that one should build an audience first, and only after growing it to sufficient size, one should go ahead and publish a book. But then I have had other guests, and on the other side, they had told me that one should not wait until there is a large audience in place, and it is good to simply go ahead and publish the book while starting building the audience. So I think that there is, not right or wrong opinion on this, because both seem justified. So today what I will do is I will simply share what I did back when I was starting from scratch. And that does not mean that you should do the same, of course. But by describing my journey, I hope to provide you with a real-life example of what my guests were talking about. So, first of all, let me tell that I think all of us agree that having a large audience in place is the ideal situation. It's the best case scenario. That fact itself, that you have an audience in place, makes things much, much easier. It means that the book launch has higher chances for success. In that case, you are in a situation where you can sell more books to your already existing readers. You can rely on your audience to spread the word about your book too. But now the question is, what if there is no audience yet? And should one spend time, and yes, it takes a long time to build the audience, and only then publish the book you have written, or publish it right away? Well, here is what I did. When I was researching about self-publishing and started writing my very first novel called High Fall, I had no audience. No one, absolutely no one, no email list, no following on social media. Actually, I think no one even knew that I existed. So I decided that it is the perfect time to experiment. Because if no one knows you, there is lower risk of failure, and at least, of people knowing about your failure. And why I decided to do that was because I learn best when I do things myself. So I thought that it would be nice to put what I was learning into practice with something really small. Learn on the mistakes of that pilot project would have helped me later on with publishing the novel when it was completed. And what I did was I took my flash fiction, very, very short stories of 2-3 pages long from the past and put those together. So I self-published my very first book on Amazon. It was the collection of short stories called Emotional Moments, and I was really excited about that. Now, let me tell you that you are in a way better position than I was back then. Why is that? Well, if you have listened to the podcast, you already know about the common mistakes newbie writers make, and you can avoid those straight away. And if you haven't been listening to the podcast, there are many episodes which cover different situations and different mistakes that the guests shared with us. So, what about me? What did I do? Well, I have to admit, and now going back, I'm not feeling as uncomfortable about that as I did before, but I have to admit that I made all those mistakes that we spoke about before on the podcast, and I learned from those. So, which were those mistakes? What did I do? Well, I did the cover of the Emotional Moments myself. And believe me, everyone could tell that it was not a professional cover. I'm not a designer. I know nothing about design. I used a photo which I took myself. So, I don't know. I mean, it was absolutely not something that one was supposed to do. Also, I received bad reviews because the book was not edited. Yes, I just put it out there the way it was written. And apparently that was a mistake too. Also, I did not do a KDP Select free promotion, and it was the first book with no audience in place, quite short, and priced at $2.99. So I guess that you most probably already can figure out that the experiment did not go well. But then I started correcting all those mistakes one by one. I got a new cover, I had the book edited, and I took Kathy Presland's online course on Udemy called How to Publish an eBook on Kindle, ebook publishing course. And you can check it out at www.anniealexander.com/publishkindle. And I can tell that this course completely changed everything because it was totally worth the money. I paid for it. And in just few weeks after the course, I tried few things. And as a result, Emotional Moments, with the help of the free promotion, became #1 Amazon bestseller with over 8,000 downloads in just 3 days. So needless to say, how happy I was. So once again, the Udemy course called How to Publish an eBook on Kindle, ebook publishing course. You can check it out at www.anniealexander.com/publishkindle. So looking back, I can confirm that it is possible to gain best-selling author status without having audience in place. But I believe that that can be done through different promotions, some of them being a 3 days promotion as I did, or a discounted price promotion of selling the book on 99 cents. And that means that, yes, you can get the status, but it means also that you will not be able to make money with it. What you will be able to do, though, is you will be able to put your book in front of many people who never heard about you before. So, in fact, looking back, I think that making money should not be the primary goal for your very first book. The primary goal of that first book should be tapping into the potential audience of readers. And that brings me to the thought that having a first book which you are willing to, let's say, figuratively speaking, sacrifice, may be part of your audience building strategy. That book itself can start building the audience for you. But what I want you to realize is that there is no such thing as right or wrong approach. What is right for someone might not really be right for you. What worked in the past might not work anymore because things change, and these days they change very fast. You simply have to experiment and see which is the best strategy for you. You may even need to change strategies depending on the book. So, as you see, there is no magic button. There is no path that leads directly to success. There will be obstacles on your way, and you will sometimes have to change the initial plan in order to get where you want to be. And I want you to know that it's a long process. Sometimes it's extremely tough process too. But believe me, as soon as you receive your very first fun email or 5-star review, you will feel that it was absolutely worth it. Well, that was all that I wanted to tell you today. Keep writing, build your audience, and don't be afraid to experiment. Are you struggling trying to figure out how to sell copies of your book, especially the first 100 copies? The Author Marketing Institute is offering access to their latest free video course called Selling the First 100 Copies of Your Book. This is the course everyone should have when they started publishing. It goes through all the basics from starting a mailing list to experimenting with different prices. If you follow the instructions in this course, you should be primed and ready to sell your first 100 copies, if not many more. Sign up for free at www.authormarketinginstitute.com.